this video. My name is Bisola Miriam and I am a study abroad coach, a profit in millions strategist, and of course your communications scholar and a lawyer in embryo. Yes, I am going to be answering your questions on how to assess a grantee scholarship. So in this video, I have created a list of FAQs, frequently asked questions that would come to your mind or that is currently going through your mind on the process to study abroad on a fully funded scholarship. So stay with me as I answer all of your questions quickly. So the very first question here is, how do I apply? How do I apply to schools abroad? So let me tell you, the very first question here is, how do I apply? How do I apply? When it comes to applying to schools abroad, the first thing you need to define is, what do you want to apply for? Are you aiming for an undergraduate program or a graduate level program? Once you clarify whether you're applying for an undergraduate program or a graduate level degree, then you can say, we can now talk about how do you apply. So when it comes to applying for an undergraduate program, you need to ask yourself, do you have a high school result, like a secondary school result? If you do, then you're qualified to apply for an undergraduate program. Now, if you must apply for a graduate level program, you must have not just an OND, you must have an OND and an HND. You must just basically have a degree with that, a 4-year degree, or a degree that you have done for 4 years, in simple English. Does that make sense? So those are the first set of things you need to put together to apply. So let's go to the next part. Next thing you need to bear in mind when you must apply is that you need to ask yourself, now that you have clarified that you're applying at the undergraduate or graduate level, you need to then define the courses or course or program you want to apply for. By doing that, in order to do that, you will need to learn what you need to first define what your application story is. Your application story is that idea, that mission, that reason behind the course you want to apply for. So you want to apply for a course like gender studies. Are you interested in that course because you have lived in a community where men have been marginalized or women have been marginalized? Then you have an application story. So if you need to learn more about what all of this is about, then you should come for one of our free clarity calls. Okay, the next order. So the next question on my board is, I left college many years ago. Can I still get a fully funded scholarship? Hello? Yes, you can. That you left college many years ago is not a barrier and does not stop you from getting a fully funded scholarship. They are not looking at how long you left school. They are very much interested in how competitive your application is and if you're a good fit for their program. Now, if you're also bothered about whether you left school many years ago, I need to also tell you that though you left school many years ago, you've been doing other things with your life. And so those other things you've been doing, if you can present them very well, they would help you present an outstanding application. Now, that you left college many years ago could also mean that you've been into advocacy, you've been running an NGO, you've been working in the corporate firm. They need people with experience, like people who have real life experience or experiences, and so that is a plus, not a minus. Okay, let's talk about the next. So the next question, do I need to write examinations, and if I need to write exams, which one? Now, there is no straightforward answer to whether you need to write exams or not. It depends on the program, it depends on the institution. Some programs will require that you write exams. Some programs that usually would require that you write exams are now waiving these exams since the COVID. So the COVID somehow has miraculously changed the policies of some schools, and so they no longer require that people write exams like the TOEFL, GRE, IELTS, and or the GMAT. But if you must find out more about these exams, you can check our YouTube channel, come to one of our free clarity calls, or perhaps just simply visit Google and find out more about these exams. But most importantly, understand that these exams may be requirement for some schools or some departments. They might not necessarily be important for some other departments, even though you might be applying for the same course or program. Does that make sense? Now let's talk about the next question. Will I be able to stay abroad permanently? Oh, well, it depends on a lot of things. So that when you finish your program as an African going to study abroad, a lot of things can happen. You could get a permanent stay. Like you could, if you do something amazing, the government of that country might just give you like a permanent stay, like a green card in the US. If you do something amazing, if you do something extraordinary, that can happen. Now, that is just a fantasy, right? It is possible, not just a fantasy. Now, another way that you can make sure or ensure that you get a stay in that country is if you apply for another program and then another program and then another program, you increase your stay. And if you get a job, you can stay longer in the system. And if you get a job, you are a step closer to getting a permanent stay in that country, like the US or Canada. Does that make sense? If this makes sense, drop a comment below. Now let's go to the next question, guys. The next question is, how do I know my CGPA is good enough? Now, there is no yes or no to this. Like, you need to first of all go to wes.org to evaluate your transcript for free. Once you evaluate your transcript and you know what your cumulative CGPA is, there is a video on my YouTube channel on how you can evaluate your transcript for free. Now, once you learn how to evaluate your transcript for free, the next thing you want to ask yourself is, what is the minimum CGPA that this department requires of me? Now, once you know what your evaluated CGPA is, you can then place it side by side with the requirement of each department or each program that you want to apply to. That way you know whether your CGPA is good for that program or not. And in some cases, even when your CGPA is not so competitive, guess what? Many programs offer conditional admission, meaning even if you have a low CGPA, they can admit you. Alternatively, they may require that you write one of those exams that I already talked about. Does this make sense to you? Drop a comment below. And of course, make sure you come to one of our free clarity calls to learn more about how this process works. The questions are many, so let's go to the next one. I am over 40. Can I go to school? Yes, you can. You are over 40. You're over 40 or 45, 50. Well, no matter your age, as long as you've got your brain in place and you can show that you're capable of doing well in school, there is no discrimination. There is no bias. It's an inclusive system. You need to understand that studying abroad is a very inclusive process. And guess what? That you even an old student, one thing that he tells them is you've got a lot of experiences, right? And those experiences can also translate into you doing amazing research work. How about that? So let's talk about the next question. Now, the next question is, do I need to pay back the money after getting a fully funded scholarship? No, 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 no. You don't need to pay back the money after getting a fully funded scholarship. When you get a fully funded scholarship offer in your email from a school, you are not going to pay back. You will go to school, you'll be studying, and you also get a job or also work within the department as a TA or as a graduate or research assistant. And you would also get paid for working. You also be schooling without paying a dime. But what you give in return is your time. And so you're paying with your time and your physical presence and your brain, which of course is what you're also contributing to the work that you're doing. So you are paying already, even though you're not paying in cash. Does that make sense to you? So let's talk about the next question. Make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Don't forget to subscribe. The next question is, how much is a fully funded scholarship worth? Well, what a fully funded scholarship is worth is as much as 40 million naira or more. That's a lot of money, guys. Yes, it's a lot of money because some people would get a scholarship worth $48,000 and calculate $48,000. That's a lot of money. And one thing you need to also know is you'll be paid on a monthly basis. So you'll be paid as much as $1,500 or $2,000. Now, estimate that salary on a monthly basis. Girl, guys, caller, that is a lot of money. And so a fully funded scholarship is worth a lot, and it's $1 million opportunity. So there is an interesting question for a scholar who is in a relationship. And the question is, I want to study abroad and I'm not sure if my partner wants to come with me, or I'm not sure if my girlfriend wants to come with me. The first thing you need to ask yourself before you go into any relationship is, do your plan and purpose, do they align? If your plan and purpose with your supposed partner or the person you are in a relationship with does not align, then you need to ask yourself again if that relationship is where you want to be. And of course, if you are now married, it's a different ball game, but you need to also ask yourself what will be the consequence or consequences of your action. Is it going to do you, is it going to bring about a greater good, or is it going to destroy a lot of things? You need to answer that question for yourself. I'm not a relationship coach, remember. I'm a study abroad coach. So you may want to talk to your relationship counselor or relationship coach about that. Hi, I hope you found the answers to the frequently asked questions really useful. If you did, please drop a comment below. And I guess there is one last question on your mind. How do I how do I work with you, Bisola Miriam? Yes, I like that question, right? So, how you can work with me is, before I answer you, I would ask you one more question. I would ask you this one question. What is your plan? Is it a short-term plan or a long-term plan? Now, let's talk about the long-term plan. If you're looking at studying abroad in 2 to 3 years or more, that is a long-term plan. And so for the long-term planners, here is my one and only offer, that you join the Study Abroad Challenge. The Study Abroad Challenge is an online webinar where you get to listen to speakers, that is undergraduate and graduate students who are currently schooling and living abroad, on who have gotten fully funded scholarships at different time. So you get to hear their stories and how they did it, and so you can be inspired. Now, this webinar is available on a private Facebook group, and so when you join this group, guess what? You also get access to me virtually. Virtually in the sense that you would get to listen to me on a weekly basis, because I always go live in this group. And so when you keep hearing about your plan, you keep hearing about someone who can help you get closer to your plan and purpose, it only helps that dream to remain awake, and it gives your dream the right oxygen. So, the oxygen that you need for this dream to eventually materialize, when you're eventually ready, 3 years from now or more, is to join the Study Abroad Challenge. And how much is that? It is just $3 or 1,000 naira, depending on the rate of dollar at the time that you are signing up. So it is just a $3 fee, depending on the rate of dollar when you are of the dollar or dollars when you're signing up. To get access to that program, just follow the link in the description of this video, or perhaps just make a direct deposit to the bank account or to the bank account displayed on your screen if you're paying in naira. But if you're paying in other currencies or dollars or pounds, you need to go via my store, and the link to that store is on the screen right here. You can get it on the screen. And so let's talk about the short-term plan. For the short-term planners, these are amazing. These are people who want to get abroad, who want to leave or relocate from their countries in the next 6 months to 1 year. And so if your plan is to relocate in the next 6 months to 1 year, this is it. You need to consider applying for what? You need to consider working with me on a very close level and in different ways. The first way is to get my book. The second way is to get my online course. And the third way is to get my coaching program. So let me tell you about these different offers. My book is a ready-made document, a PDF guide that teaches you the steps to getting a guaranteed scholarship. In this book, you will find proven strategies, acts for identifying schools with funding, strategies for writing letters of introduction, statement of purpose, and other application essays, and also the list of schools with funding that have been provided in a separate chapter of the book. And of course, you would also get access to some schools that would offer you application fee waivers when you begin to apply. And there are many more information that you will find in this book. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you get to learn more about the book. And to get the book, it is $40. But from time to time, this book goes on promo. And as of today, I have no idea what the promo price is, except you click on the link and find out for yourself. But most importantly, once you get this book, you don't have to pay any other money. You can buy the book and go apply the methods yourself. Alternatively, you can get the book and decide to be a part of our support group. So for anyone who buys the book, you also become a member of our support group. In this support group, you will get weekly coaching, weekly support, and you'll be able to ask questions on the WhatsApp group, and you will also get to join our Zoom call every weekend. Now, that's amazing. Now, to be on the support group, you will need to pay $3 monthly to show that you're committed to being a member of that support group as someone who has pre-ordered the book. Now, if you plan to get the online course, here is it. Next offer is the online course. The online course is a pre-recorded video course with screen sharing, and basically it is just a video form or the video format of my book. So if you get the online course, you get access to my book for free. And with the online course, you learn the same strategies, the same processes involved in applying to schools abroad. But the only difference is you're watching videos. And that's a little bit interesting, not boring, right? So if you're a visual learner, if you learn by watching videos, getting access to my video course would do you a lot of good. Isn't that interesting? And if you get my video course, which is $150, depending on the rate of dollar where you are paying, follow the link in the description of this video to get access to my online course, and most importantly, to even learn more about the online course. Also, you can pay via a bank transfer or via direct deposit or via the online option, which is to use your card. And with a copy of my book, you get free access. With a copy of with a subscription to the online course, you get free access to my book. And interestingly, you also get 1 hour free coaching call with me, a personalized 1 hour free coaching call. Not just you alone, but for as many who pre-order or who subscribe to the online course. Now, the one-on-one coaching is a done-for-you program where I work with you privately. I assist you in creating a list of schools with funding. I edit your essays by myself. I create time to ensure that your application essays, from the letters of introduction to the statement of purpose or statements of purpose, for as many you need to write, to also coach you on how you can ace the TOEFL at one sitting, because I did make 100 out of the TOEFL, out of 120 on the TOEFL examination. And if you need to write exams like the GRE or the GMAT, I will share with you the proven strategies and methods to actually acing these exams. Now, if you also would need to work with any of our coaches on the section of these exams that you're not very familiar with, we have a network of amazing scholars in the Scholarship Guaranteed Academy that can coach you. Perhaps along the line you need help with reviewing your essays, you would also get that support in the one-on-one coaching. What else do you get in the one-on-one coaching? In the one-on-one coaching, you would also get access to me for 6 weeks, undivided access, undivided attention. You will get my undivided attention for 6 weeks, and I would call you weekly if you are on the one-on-one coaching with me. It's a private course, it's a private program, and this is also one of the ways through which I help people looking to study abroad. Follow the link in the description of this video, or copy and paste the link in your browser to learn more about this offer, and of course to also get the offer right now. There are several things that you need to bear in mind, but you can possibly not learn everything in just one video and in just one FAQ series. Why don't you make it a date with us at the free clarity call every Friday, 9 p.m. WAT? Perhaps if the time ever changes, you also get to know once you're on our mailing list or you follow us on our social media platforms. My name is on the description of this video. Make sure you follow me on my different social media platforms, and most importantly, go join the mailing list via my website, www. The link is on the description of this video, guys. Make sure you do the needful, and I cannot wait to be able to help you on this journey to a guaranteed scholarship. God bless you, and see you soon.